This video we're going to talk about Nvidia. Proper name is Nvidia. And this is the daily chart. And we can see we had the stock split 10 for 1 this past Monday. Now I had an alert down at about 116. Was hoping for a dip to fill that gap before moving higher. However, momentum is just too great. You can see it on all time frames. This is the monthly. This is the weekly. We just saw how things look like on the daily chart. This is the 8-hour chart. This is the 4-hour chart. This is the 1-hour chart. Zooming out to the weekly chart once again, potentially some levels of interest. It's going to be this rally base, doji candle, rally out. I like to draw my weekly zones in red. Another area of interest is going to be this $90 level, where price was stuck at for weeks at a time before breaking out. So those are your levels of interest, $110 and $90. But the question we want to answer in this video is what happens after the stock split? What happens to the price action? So let's get into it. All right, so since 2010, stocks with splits have delivered a total return of around 18% during the 12 months following the announcement versus 12% for the S&P 500. On June 27, 2000, Nvidia conducted a 2-for-1 stock split in weeks leading up to the split. The stock steadily vaulted higher. However, Nvidia's shares fell immediately after the stock split and was down significantly year over year. 1 year after the split, the stock was up quite a bit. Nvidia conducted another 2-for-1 stock split in September of 2001. This time the company's shares fell, both ahead of and immediately after the split. The stock rebounded during the rest of the year. However, it then began a steep decline. Several years passed before Nvidia next 2-for-1 stock split, and that happened in 2006. In this case, the stock rose before the split and then fell shortly afterwards. Following a sharp sell-off, Nvidia shares bounced back. Still a year later, it was up barely over 1%, while the S&P was up 13%. The next year, Nvidia conducted its first 3-for-2 stock split. The stock again climbed ahead of the stock split. The good times didn't last long, though. Nvidia soon plunged with a much worse decline than the S&P. Now, the chip makers' shares jumped both before and immediately after the stock split. This was in 2021. A year later, though, Nvidia's share price was lower than when the split occurred. However, Nvidia still managed to outperform the S&P during that period. So as you can see, Nvidia stock split doesn't necessarily mean the good times will keep rolling in. However, there's a much better reason to own the stock, and that's because the demand for the chips to train and run AI models continue to soar. Nvidia is the undisputed leader in the AI chip market, and its rapid speed of innovation seems likely to keep the good times rolling for the next several years. And so this should translate to strong earnings growth. When earnings grow, stock prices typically follow. And then you have more stock splits or no stock split. Either way, you have a bullish case to own the stock besides the stock split. And so with that said, kind of zooming back out to the weekly chart. And if I just enact a measure move, from previous resistance, right, to where price stalled next, this was previous resistance. So if I duplicate that, well, you just hit your measured move at about 135. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens if price is going to stall or move higher. I do have a 150 target by the end of the year. What would really be nice is if you have a pullback to this 110 level before moving higher. Now we are in an election year. The Feds are going to lower interest rates. We're going to be in a risk-off environment. Tech stocks usually rally, and so this 150 target should be easily hit before the end of the year. Nevertheless, let me know what you think. Is Nvidia a buy at current levels, or do you wait for the pullback? Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.